Welcome to Humanity Unboxed with me, Michelle Cheen, and Michael McGroot. Michael, freedom. Does it exist? Can we ever
Freedom.
be free?
Freedom. Does it exist? Uh, of course, you and I have no idea because we are all one-on-ones, right?
Yes.
So we have no idea what other people feel, and we are not experts, and we are not anything, but we just are very good in uh, plugging into the consciousness and finding the awareness, human awareness, which is our common denominator, which then that listens to this can use it in their where it shouldn't copy. We propagate to not copy us, to just think your own, you know, uh, contribute your own uniqueness to the wisdom that we get through you and I.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so So everybody's free to do whatever they want to do, and they can turn this off or turn it on, or share it, or whatever they want.
Yeah. But they're not really free in the bigger sense because they can only watch or not watch.
Yeah,
Really.
exactly.
Like,
It's
there's
like
only two
only
choices.
binary, because we were also the systems. Um, I mean, look at the election. It's either or. So we were conditioned for over years and years and years to have actually very few decisions, and I think you and I talked about this previous things about when you get four answers or five answers, and of course neurodivergent people are very detailed so they can survive, right?
Mm.
This is what our thing is. We are very detailed, even if it's just a few things, but we are very detailed. And when they ask me question, I try to answer it correctly to my 101.
Mm.
And I literally tell you that is 80%. There's no answer that I would choose on that question. So,
Mm.
is the automobile the most important, you know,
Yeah.
move of transportation? And it says yes, yes if we carpool, yes we think, and there's nothing else. And I said, or no, or yes or no, or is it should we carpool or should we have public transportation? So there's four answers, right?
Mm.
But what is about other?
Mm.
There's no other, because everybody has a 101. What actually the biggest learning would be
Mm.
where there is other, right? And there would be the freedom to say, hey, it's not one of the four, it's something else. And research doesn't do it because it's a business. You know, it's
Okay, I want to come back to this quickly. Oh,
go,
just
go,
stick
go, go,
here for
go,
a second.
go.
So this takes time, though. This takes effort. It's much easier and quicker to just go, okay, let me pick one of the four because then
which
I
is
can,
the closest,
which is
right?
the closest, even though I don't necessarily agree. And I
Yeah,
think that is what makes us different because
yeah,
we want to we want to look at the bigger picture. We want to see,
yeah,
hang on a minute, what are my other options? How do I really see it
exactly.
from my one of oneness? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you ask me, you ask my 101. You're not asking, I mean, then pose the question different. What resonates most with you? That would be the correct thing. If you have five answers or four,
Mm,
say what resonates most with you. Now,
mm,
that would be the right answer question. That would give me the freedom to say, can I even say that or not? But it's still, even if you say that or other, because
yeah.
it could be that the four or five are totally not it, and
Mm,
I might have an out of box idea that actually would solve the problem. It would help solving the problem.
yeah. So by binding or making freedom a bound choice, like the election, where there's two options really,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but now I don't agree with some of this and I don't agree with some of this. So I
Yeah.
need to make an executive decision, but I'm not free to choose. I'm only free to choose one of the two. Therefore,
Yeah.
I'm free. And my perception is also influenced by what I'm being fed. So in this world that we live in, algorithms are doesn't care about
Hmm.
my choice, my freedom, me in any way. It just wants me be spend more time in that space. So um, I see this with my husband a lot. He's interested, so he clicks through to something and he clicks through to something else, and suddenly his whole feed has given him a warped image of the thing that he is looking at because
Yeah.
he started somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, his perception is that this is the one point of view, or his perception is that this is the whole thing, but it's not.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
makes choices based, or we all make choices based on what we are presented, but we only presented with the things that make us spend more time on a social media platform, for example. So
Yeah.
we don't really have any freedom in
Then we
essence.
talk with the
We don't
dating
know the
apps. We
bigger
said,
picture.
right? We talk with the dating. The algorithm says, the research says in statistic, you get more money by instead of hooking up people synergistically.
Mm,
If that was your thinking, no, you have more thing when people look really long and don't find the synergistic fit, or it takes very long. So we always tease them, tease them, tease them, tease them, and the longer they straw, because again, we go to what we keep saying: it's never enough, no matter what we do. So there's always a lack. So even if the noblest intent uh, is fading into, I need to make more money, and
yeah,
therefore is this whole systemic thing is really uh, faulty, because it's, if we don't fix the core, why all the systems are, it's never enough, based on it's never enough no matter what. So we go lower the quality, uh, and then the
mm,
intent of bringing people together is faded out. It's
yeah,
being on the platform instead of bringing people together.
yeah. Because now, once again, I have to speak to the
Speak.
bigger majority and
Yeah,
not
yeah,
to the person. Therefore, I can have more people spend time in the space, but I don't have that quality of space, or that quality of connection with a single person,
yeah,
because it's never enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sadness, because money is the lifeblood of systems, and
Mm.
because if that's always in lack, the system have to adapt, because otherwise they have no lifeblood. They have to make more money, right?
Yeah.
And so go. Let's go back to freedom. Freedom.
Is
Can
freedom?
we?
Can we have freedom? Yeah.
Can we? Also, what does that word mean actually? Because it means for everybody, every 101, it
Mm.
means something different. So I bet there's some people in North Korea, in the worst people where you say it's the worst place to be, they
Mm.
feel free. I think we also know that when Hitler came, they thought they were free. I mean, there's people
But
welcome Hitler and said they're free now. Now they're
because
finally free.
because they didn't look at the bigger picture, because they only saw them as being the chosen ones. Like if we look at Palestine, I don't think anybody in Palestine thinks they're free,
Yeah,
because they're not. They can't move, they
yeah,
can't leave, they
yeah,
are in a horrible space, but they don't have a choice to be
yeah,
anywhere else. And that's not because of something they did.
yeah.
So can they, you know, hmm, what is freedom in general? What would freedom mean to you? How would you feel free?
I think for me it would be the one-on-oneness
Mm,
in the moment. So what I do in the moment, I think only can free by totally enjoying the moment. For example, with you right now,
mm,
that is a feeling of I'm at the right place at the right time, and
mm.
I think that's freedom. That's
Yeah,
and also I learn, I grow, and the moment I'm not, I don't. It's nothing is made, and we made this on purpose, not
mm,
for the future, not of getting the. If people are interested, they come, but it's not to have super ratings or anything. It's
mm,
just our expression, and I feel that's the freedom. If we would make this to get higher um, visibility
mm.
and all this stuff, and you go crazy on that, we
Yeah.
would be less free than enjoying the moment with each other.
Yes, and even that is relative. Um, it was interesting. We did a conversation with my astrology friend. So we do these
Yeah,
conversations once a month, and
yeah,
we put it out there. And randomly, I mean, not randomly, it's just she used the right words in the right space, the right time, and the last video got 1,000 something views. While the same video in another space only gets 40 views, but the
yeah,
video is still the same.
yeah. And
That
it's totally dependent on. I mean, I have some podcasts that have 25,000 or whatever, but
mm,
that it, but then I have zero. And
yeah,
I looked at it, so I don't even trust the numbers or whatever, because
yeah,
I looked at it. There should be at least one view, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So and it's about a result. It's like about a result, and that's what we do with money. It's about the result of having money. It's not about enjoying the process of, and the symptom is money. The symptom is freedom. The symptom is joy. The symptom is, you know. So when you force joy, when you force freedom, when you force money, it's gone, because money is a
because
money
there's nothing.
freedom. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a symptom. Money
yeah, yeah,
thing is a symptom, and
yeah,
it's not. It's, if you say, I'm gonna be loving. I'm gonna be loving to everybody because I need a lot of love.
yeah,
You never will find love. Never. It's
yeah,
the paradox to play with paradox. It's can't you can be open to that energy, but
mm,
but but love. I mean, we talked about love. It's basically a feedback loop that you're on the right path. So
yeah,
if you feel love with, let's say you and me feel love with each other doing this, that means us. But somebody else wouldn't feel that. So it's not a generalized. See, the system sneaks into even that you can, let's get the patterns and then generalize the thing, and you can't. It's 8 billion people. They are 101. You can't
yeah,
make it even. You know, you can say yes in general. When you do this, then this happens. In general, you have a general idea, but it doesn't mean. And this, we come back to this selection. So what the resonate, most people select for what resonates most with them, because it's not, they
in
accept
this
that.
moment,
They
in this
accept that
moment,
in this moment, they,
yeah,
they they accept it. They choose that,
mm,
and then they find out later, I thought it was different, because their imagination and belief was, I mean, look at how many people with the money, when they get a lot of money, they said, money is going to make me happy. And then all the lottery winners, 90% or so, lose all their money again, because they felt that wasn't what was promised systemically. When you are a CEO in the corner office of New York,
mm,
you are happy. But this is what, that doesn't mean you're happy. That is, I guarantee there's super happy people in a corner office and think,
mm,
because they really love that systemic stuff.
yeah,
But it doesn't mean that everybody is happy,
yeah,
or that it is just a you know, a lighter makes fire. No, it's not like that.
yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit
Go,
as
go.
to this the outcome. It's the same with when we have conversations. It's not like we come here with a script and we want to solve
Never,
you know
never. How
thing.
dare
Or
you? Never.
but in that we have freedom. In that
Yes.
we can allow it, unless we go, okay, well, we have to solve this thing, and then we lose the
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
So as soon as we put a imagined outcome to
Yeah.
it, we lose the freedom of being able to change our minds
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that
It's
thing.
beautifully said. Yeah, because, but you and I tend to do this in life. We tend to be in the moment,
Yeah,
um, and it is so. I'm always amazed when, see, and this is why I know it's the real freedom.
yeah,
Not the planned, or taking a pattern,
yeah,
because we have not. I think we have 30 episodes now, and
yeah,
I think we never felt disappointed and said that was a horrible episode. Even
no,
if we don't feel good, I'm going through, my
Yeah.
stuff and all the stuff. You have your kids and
Yeah.
all the stress and everything. We never feel because we set up the perspective of what this should be, a dance between two one-on-ones
Yeah.
up in the right way. And we're not promising and saying, hey, we know what to do. No, we
Yeah.
don't. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And in that we are allowed, and I suppose there's an element of we're allowed to make mistakes, or we're allowed to do it as that, there is no expectation.
yeah,
And that's also got an element to what is freedom. Freedom is different, as you say, for each person has a different idea of it, but once again those ideas bound us. If we can
yeah.
be let go of the idea of freedom, is probably the only way that we can ever aspire to reaching something that we experience to match that frequency. Because as you
Yeah.
say, words are tricky. What is freedom? America is seen as the land of the free. And I don't know, from this angle it doesn't really look like it. you
No,
know
nothing looks from the right angle. There's people in the Middle East, they feel free.
yeah.
It never anything looks like that because we know too little, and that's why it's so important. Like that say when you say, "Hey, I want to say," I say, "Yeah, go ahead, say it," because you embrace the. I know the wisdom and awareness, wisdom seekers, right? I
Yeah.
know that comes from two life perspectives that interact. Yeah, they're the highest form of learning, not education, but the higher form of learning is if two one-on-one exchange their life experience. And we
Yeah.
know that. We prove it every week. We literally prove it every week. I
Yeah.
mean, we have never failed to prove that
Mm.
our,
our
our,
one of oneness, our
yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
our theory, we prove our theory, our thesis of seeing the one-on-oneness and trying to figure and try to find the synergistic fit by respecting each perception and not being right or wrong. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you could
within
say,
that,
yeah, go ahead.
it's sometimes important, well, for me, I don't know about you, to
Yeah.
step out of the choices, out of the limitations, to allow something else to create. Because when I have to think of what are the rules of podcasting, or what are the rules of going live, or what are the rules of society, then I get a bit overwhelmed because I don't always understand or need to know them, because that
But it's
limits
a pattern.
your.
It's not you. It's a
Yeah.
pattern. It's just saying, in general, it's a generalization. In
Yeah.
general, when hosts ask these questions, they get the most uh, answers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but these questions are not for us. If the question were for us, perhaps it's for us. But I'm not going to a generalization and try this when I have my own six senses and can feel out what is the and just also it trains us to be in the whole life like that
Mm.
because we are not fighting people. We are not want to be right. We not want to. I think the strive for mattering, system mattering, is
Mm.
was one of the killers of humans. You want a system matter, so you were a famous actor and now you're not anymore famous. Now you become infamous because you matter. You do something with young girls or whatever, and just to be to 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 uh, to get attention, to matter, and
Yeah.
and the systemic matter is never the natural matter that you are born by in
Yeah.
by nature. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose that's another interesting element to it. Um, when you are in the public eye, or when you have attention, or have a huge audience, or any of that, um, it becomes more difficult to live in your one of oneness, because suddenly there are expectations, or there's the need to hold on to that attention, and in holding on to that attention you do the things that isn't always aligned with you.
You, it's not aligned with you, but so
Yeah.
it's very funny because at the beginning, the people were like, when they get a little bit of fame, they try to hold on to this fame, and they can't. And what we often see, they can't build it. Which, for example, Joe Rogan, he was trying to do stuff, and now he doesn't care. He just is.
Yeah.
He has so much. He's so confident with his one-on-oneness that no matter who comes on, people are listening because it's the interest that he has. That he personally would not put something on where he's not interested at all. Now, how many
But he
people do
doesn't
this?
judge either. So
Yeah,
he
yeah, he
is.
allows.
Yeah.
It's your opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't impose his opinion. It is a very open. There's an openness about him and an authenticity.
yeah.
He's not there to
No,
change
it's
your
him. He's one-on-oneness, and
mind.
he says he could be wrong, like you and I can be wrong, but he says, okay, don't eat sugar.
Yeah,
That's what he experienced in his life, and a
yeah,
lot of people, they love sugar. Yeah, we all love sugar, but but does it do you good? And he's so sensitive. The sensitivity of saying, hey, I tried it, it's not good for me.
yeah,
Uh, uh, you know, uh, uh, our friends and stuff, they are just vegan, they're just paleo, they're just this. Everybody should use what they use. They should use what makes them feel good. Because
yeah.
if you don't feel good, that's the worst. Then you're not in a moment. You're not in a moment.
Interesting that you bring up Joe Rogan because I was listening to some clip somewhere today, and I love the fact that being so true to oneself, to be such a one
Yeah,
of one,
yeah,
it works. He insists on it. I mean, I think he's the highest paid podcaster,
yeah. So yeah, hmm
whatever his podcast is highest paid. So he invited Trump for a conversation. They had a 3 hour. I mean, he has 3 to 4 hour long conversations.
yeah,
There really is no rules. There's he doesn't take shit. He's
yeah,
straightforward. Like
yeah,
he'll call you out, and he's open to be. You know what I mean? He's
yeah.
an
And
openness about.
that there come people to him that are totally out of. They say, the aliens are coming and doing this, and he
Yeah,
is still dancing with them.
yeah,
And you can dance because you're not the same opinion. You can still dance with
yeah,
the person, which he proves, and I'm so glad for that
yeah.
because that's what we do.
Exactly, but he also doesn't get influenced. So he was saying that he invited Kamala Harris, or he would
Yeah,
love to have a conversation with her, but she wanted him to change. It had
yeah,
to be on those terms, and
yeah,
that's not how he works. So there is a rule. There is a kind of, this is
yeah,
my space. I invite you into my space,
yeah.
and that's a rule. But in that space, there is a safety and an acceptance, and I
I
think
love
there's
that.
a lot of
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah,
authenticity in that, because in that long form conversation, you really become raw. You can't follow a script for 3 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, at some point you just need to have a conversation.
And also this shows also a willingness. This interview with Trump could have been just a half an hour, right? And Trump
Yeah,
could have said, no, 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 I'm that, and go.
yeah,
And I'm not pro Trump or against Trump. I'm not for anybody, but I'm saying humans have chosen Trump. You cannot say Trump is horrible. It's like humans have chosen Hitler. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying it's not the person that is bad. It's so easy to blame somebody and
yeah.
say it's him. We allowed that. We as a collective allowed that, and
Well,
nobody says that.
7 million people chose whatever
So,
he.
and also in Europe, they chose
Yeah,
the conservative way.
yeah.
When we chose, so don't make it. Oh, I didn't choose. It was them, because that segregates us. We all chose Trump. We all chose
But
things
now
in a
this is
way.
exactly where we should have started with this, but they didn't
You can
necessarily.
edit it.
They didn't necessarily choose Trump. They chose what Trump sold them. So
Exactly.
if he sold, because he sold them truth, He sold them transparency. He sold them belonging. He
Yeah.
sold them all those things, um, which is what they voted for. This is what they chose. They didn't choose Trump because Trump, there's a lot more
Yeah.
that they
They
might
didn't
not
choose the
have done.
person because what Trump did, according to whatever this, I don't know what he did or if he was framed or whatever, but what he did should extinct every human, right? But
Yeah,
it didn't. It didn't, and he was twice almost or three times almost shot. So we created it. We didn't allow it. So I'm not saying creation is only, yes, I want Hitler, I want Trump, I want Camilla, I want all these people. No,
mm,
it's we, but we have a part of the whole, and especially when you see something so radical,
yeah,
Senate, and everything,
yeah,
and you see that we created that. We collectively chose that. If it's wrong or right, we will see. The time will tell. But
yeah.
we chose
But
it.
it didn't. See, this is my point. So it wasn't really a choice. It was so limited in that I don't want that, therefore I have to take this, or I want that little piece, therefore I take the whole thing. There's so much in that for me around in choice. We are limited. Like if my husband, because he's the cook in the house, if he
Yeah,
said, what do you want to eat tonight, I've got fish or pasta.
yeah,
I'm not free in that. I can choose fish or pasta, but what if I want pizza?
yeah,
Then I need to make it myself.
yeah.
So, you know, yeah. Or what if I want to see, fish on my pizza and not? I don't have those choices. In this, um,
You do have it. It's just your husband has time allotted for cooking,
mm,
and that's a dance. That's a dance. If you say, "Hey, honey," and he says, "I really like that fish," yeah, okay, let's make fish and spaghetti. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
But
that's a dance. That
limiting the choice doesn't mean that there's freedom in it, and I think
no,
that's where we get confused often to
yeah.
say, "Ooh, I've had all this
And,
freedom, but I can only choose between
so
working
good, so
from
good.
home or working at the office, or
So good, so
yeah,
good, Michelle. Because see, the choice is free. Freedom and choice is very interconnected. So
mm,
when you say, "Hey, let's go see the new horror film," whatever, yeah, and
yeah,
you said, I, "I feel for like every film, but not horror film."
yeah,
But how often do we say, "Hey, we all go to movies. You want to go?" And you just say yes, versus hold a moment a second and think, do you really want to do that? Or do
mm.
you want to rather sit at home by the chimney and read a book?
But if I really want to spend time with my family and they all want to go to the movies, then I'm going to go to the movies. So I
Exactly.
still want
But
to go to
that
the
is
movies,
already,
but I want to spend time with them.
yes, but you have already made a thought about that before we said, okay, what's more important? The crappy movie or my family? Of course, you go to the family, but you have thought about it. But how
Mm,
often they say, hey, let's go eat? And they choose a restaurant you don't even like, but you want to be with them. It's
yeah.
always the capital is always the human relevance is
Mm,
the, is the capital, and with the propaganda, the anti-Trump propaganda, which this is needs to be solved. So, and I think you and I solve it in a lot of ways.
mm,
That there was so much propaganda anti-Trump and anti-conservative all over because the people were freaking out in Europe. Hey, it's all turned conservative. We don't want America in because then it's over.
mm,
So why was it so much propaganda and everything was told and everybody was manipulating everybody and still people did the right thing, whatever for them. I think they did the right thing, but it's so thing for them. For them, they chose the right thing in the moment. That might turn out horrible. We don't know nobody has the thing in the future. Nobody knows where it's gonna go.
mm,
But they have chosen that, even though there was an. So how valuable is propaganda? See, we want to give up our power and freedom and saying, yeah, but if there, I have no chance against this propaganda. No, 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 no. You saw somebody that that just uh, made us aware of this. This is something we should really dive into, because the
mm,
propaganda was, hey, water is bad, don't drink water, and the
mm.
people should drink water. You know what I mean? It's just, water is the worst thing. That, or wine is the worst thing. Don't drink wine. Don't touch
Mm.
wine. Don't do it. It gives you a thing, and there's statistics and all kinds of stuff. So what is with, see, the consciousness is more powerful than the system manipulation and propaganda.
And awareness, obviously. So if
Yeah,
you tell me not to drink wine, I need to know why because I like wine. I'm
yeah.
not
But
just
I
drinking
said all these
wine.
things. They said all this things because they
Yeah.
said, well, you said, hey, I want to vote for Trump, and they said scientific, this, what he did. I mean, there was everything against him.
Yes, but but
Yeah,
there's also he represents segregation. So he's a, I mean, it blows my mind, and I'm on a mission to understand more about why this is that the right wing, most governments in the world at the moment, and I stand corrected because I haven't really looked into it enough,
the Western world, the Western world.
in the Western world are going right wing. And why is that? Because we are manipulated by fear. It's in a election, you as a politicians um, want to be elected. That's their main mission. So Trump understood his electorate, his audience so well that he told them exactly what they needed. For 77 million people to choose something that has underlying aspects of women losing rights to their own body,
Reproductive,
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
reproductive thing, yeah.
uh, fear of racism being, built out, the immigration element as to once again fear. We need to keep these foreigners out. All of that stuff. There's all those aspects that aren't being looked at when people say, "Oh, we made the right choice." We can never choose segregation. We can never choose
Because
us.
we are not segregated. It doesn't matter if I put you in a different house. I'm not segregated from you.
No. But
If
if
I'm
I
putting,
say I cannot talk to you because you are Austrian, then I'm segregating me from you. Or you say I am
not
racist
talking to
because
her
I'm
from the,
African.
because Hitler was born there. I'm not
Yeah,
talking to, yeah. But
yeah,
that is not a reason. That is a systemic
no,
reason. Again, this is just system relevant versus human centric. All humans, if you hate them or love them, we're on the same boat. And I said,
yeah.
always say the same. Be on the other side. You don't have to hug each other, kiss each other, or anything. But I think we can't segregate that. There's, everybody,
That's what he
because
does, and that's what that campaign did, and that's
the
what
campaign
fascinates
did it.
me.
I don't know if we will think the campaign did it. We will see what I told you. The campaign did it because we needed to get and politician is always system relevant. It's always segregation. It's always blaming because it's the easiest thing. Oh, the immigrants, the drug addicts, the homeless, all this. That's the thing, because people, uh, you know, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see drug addicts. They don't want to see this. They don't. I mean, you don't even see a dead body. There's no. In the old times, you saw a dead body and whatever. Today, you get fixed up in the funeral home and get a makeup on and stuff. So there's certain things that you don't see. You're not supposed to see, and not to supposed to uh, uh, experience. And so that gives them control, because now you have fear of that.
Mm.
See, it's like if I don't let,
Fear based, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, a lot of the campaign was run on fear,
yeah.
as to, I am no longer safe, when the whole world is struggling with inflation rates going up and economic issues. But we are, if we focus on us and
We're safe in the
move
moment we
away
see each
from
other.
the global picture, if we
Yeah,
just go, oh, we are in trouble, um, and I can fix it.
yeah.
Now
And we can
but if
fix
you
it. We
look at
can
the
dance
world as
together.
a whole,
We can
yeah,
dance together. It's not.
yeah,
Also, want it really clear. We are not. We are in a system problem. We are not in the human power. If we take the power back and not give it always to system and say, no, the system says I should do this. The system should no. If we make the little tribes work with each other, help each other, whatever anybody can contribute, we are very safe. I think humanity,
If
if it
we can go
remembers the
global,
101 is,
yeah,
if we remember the 101 is, we are very safe
and
because
then
you
we can be
see,
free because we won't be limited by systemic
ex-
choices.
yeah, and it's only the media connection between, and media is since uh, um, Hearst, used to said Hearst says you talk about the war, and they said we have nothing to talk about, and Hearst said I'm responsible for the war. So that's how media and politics came together, and are codependent on each other because of their survival and their
Yeah.
effectiveness. So media and politics are codependent to each other, and they
You
really
can't
believe
trust
it.
either
Also,
of them.
yeah,
There's no trust in either of them because both of them want to. There's an outcome involved.
they want
The
to survive. They are
politician,
most afraid. They're
yeah,
most,
but the politician wants us to vote for them, and the media wants us to click through to their
yeah,
story or read whatever they say. And at the end of the day, we now have the responsibility as global citizens
citizen. Yeah,
to kind of put our foot down and say this is not responsible of people to speak in this
that's
way.
not humane. It's not humane. Period. If it's not human centric, don't do it because without humans, systems are irrelevant. Humans, it's all about human centricity, and that comes first. Even if you have system, I'm not saying I'm more closer with the system, but I said even if you use system, it's still the human centricity that's thing. That's why everybody wants to talk to me, and to you too, that because it's at the human centricity, not the system relevance first. And when we switch that, we are all free. We are all getting into the way to our freedom in the 101 is in the dancing with each other, in the solving tribal, not going back in the Middle Ages, but
Yeah.
solving in the tribal and using AI for human centric things, using technology not to destroy, but I think Eckhart Tolle said the splitting of the atom was great, but the creation of an atomic bomb was insane. And he
Mhm.
says, he said that the super intelligent system relevant stuff, that like, hey, let's make an atomic bomb.
Mhm.
That's the danger, that you have super intelligent and
Well, it's power,
talented.
isn't
Yeah,
it? If you
yeah,
if you absolute power
yeah,
corrupts absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, and that comes with the system because the system is where it lives. So
And it's outdated and it's dependent on it's never enough no matter what. So it
yeah.
must take away ultimately from humans. Ultimately, because ultimately, so you can make a system that's perfect today,
Mm.
in 10 years it takes away from humans because
And
it's never
tomorrow
enough.
it takes away
No
because
more, yeah, it's
tomorrow the
another day.
humans have evolved and the system hasn't.
Exactly.
Um, and
That's why we
that's
need to
why-
make living systems, which you and I
mm,
propagate. We say, hey, we want living systems, not outdated systems.
yeah. Well, I am afraid that I don't know if we can solve the problems from within these systems, and
Not
I
from
don't
within. Only
know.
what we do from without,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
within.
no,
Absolutely.
not within.
One choice, only to shift to human centricity first and then system relevance. If we just do that, that's one thing to see ourselves as 101,
Mm,
shift that human centric needs to be first, and then use the system to do the human centric, what we found out human centric, what we need, like
mm,
homes, food, the right food, da da da, da
yeah.
in the
But if
101.
we are empowered enough, we can be self-sufficient. We can create these things. When we can create our own choices, when we can create
Absolutely.
our own, you know, economy, there's enough money, there's enough resources, there's
We
enough.
have enough. That's the biggest scarcity. Like we have everything.
But
We
we
you
need
and I,
to be empowered. So this is through this fear mongering and narrative of
yeah.
politics and media as to you are not enough, and it
Hmm.
starts with the human.
Yeah.
element. And then if I'm not enough, then I will not have enough. I will not be enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
We
And
are
then
enough by
we
nature.
make choices from fear.
The thing is why we get so into dread
Mm,
is because the denying of our own power, because nature made us that way, 101, on the
mm,
dance, right?
yeah.
And we say, no, no, it's the education that is right. It's 1845. It's this what's right. It's this one. No, it's the adapting to outdated system that is against nature, that denies our nature, that we all 101, and that there's no reason, even the worst person that we've signed systemically the worst has a right to exist because
Mm,
nature doesn't make a mistake. If and that's why I say, Hitler was not. They think he has a purpose to show us, that to show us that we did it, but we have still not accepted that
yeah.
we allowed this to happen. Not that we created it, but we allowed it to happen.
Yeah. Well, systems are so embedded in our lives. It is it's difficult to move outside of them, but I think it's necessary to notice them, to be aware that this is a system, the education system, the
Yeah,
political system, the government system,
it
all
needs
these
to be updated.
aren't us. Yeah, all burnt to the ground.
Yeah,
Michael, thank you so much.
beautiful.
We've gone
I
over
was
time.
sorry a little longer, but it was good.
Yeah, thank
As
you.
always, mind blowing how good.
Thank you so much. We will chat again
Welcome.
next week.
Yes.
Bye.